Fine Five, Ugly Five here on the Bash. Five worst teams in the NFL, Josh. Hard to find the five worst teams because everybody's 3 and 4.
There's a lot of mediocrity.
Yes, there is, and it's hard to find the best 5 teams because everybody's 4 and 3. Everybody who's not 3 and 4 seems to be 4 and 3. We'll try to do our best here. Here's the 5 worst teams in the NFL. I'm starting with number 5, Josh, the New York Jets. Even though they beat the Cleveland Browns, they were down in that game. They still got quarterback issues. Their defense overrated. I'm going Jets, Jets.
I left the Jets out of mine because, Mike, I decided to go old school college football BCS style this time. I am judging my teams on who they've beaten, not just their record. So my number 5 team is the Panthers. They have only beat the 49ers and the Cardinals, so they are in instead of the Jets for me.
All right. Number 4 on my list, I'm going Chicago Bears. I know they won. They still got a lot of issues. They beat a team that has a lot of flaws right now. We'll get into them in just a bit. They had an interesting day today, the Minnesota Vikings. Bears at 4 for both of us. 3, Jacksonville. Here's a team that some people thought would go into the playoffs. I didn't go that far. I wasn't all that impressed by them. But quarterback, to me, taking steps back.
I also had them at 3. They fired their offensive coordinator. This team seems like it's on a downward spiral into football purgatory or something.
The abyss.
I mean, they're going to join the Browns in purgatory sooner or later. I mean, they got to fire Gus Bradley, man.
Bradley, 14-50, I think his record is in the 3 seasons in Jacksonville. Number 2 for me, I got Cleveland. They're the city of champions. I know they haven't won a game yet, but they're close. They're so close. And the Indians and the Cavaliers bring them up a tick.
I told you I'm going by the BCS standards. So number 2 are the 49ers, not the Browns. Browns got to win a game before I take them out of that number 1 spot.
By the way, those BCS standings did come out, didn't they?
I know the college football playoff standings came out. They're not BCS anymore.
Gotcha. Oh, well, yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. All right, number 1 for me, San Francisco. I mean,
Chip Kelly is not getting any San Francisco treats.
No, and he's not getting any San Francisco love out there. I mean, they probably want him run out of there already. I don't think that people want Hugh Jackson run out. So I'll go 49ers worse than Cleveland right now.
All right.
Fine side. These are interesting. I got 3 teams from one division in the fines.
Do you really?
Yep. Number 5, Oakland.
Wow.
6-2 Raiders, 5-0 on the road. Someone pointed that out to me the other day, one of our listeners. Thanks to that guy. 5-0 on the road. That's impressive. I'll give you that. 5-0 on the road is impressive, and that gets you number 5 in my Fine 5.
I have not put the Raiders in my Fine 5 yet. I did put another team in my Fine 5 for the first time, Mike. The Falcons. They won.
I did that last week.
Well, they beat the Packers. They showed me something.
Yeah.
I mean, they were competitive in the Seahawks game. I am finally buying into the fact that this is a top-level team, just ahead of the Raiders.
Well, they're 5-3. Raiders are 6-2. Where's your BCS formula there?
It's about who you beat, not just your record, Mike.
Number 4, I'm going Denver. The Broncos at 6-2. Very good defense. Still questions at the quarterback position, but it's interesting. The Eagles are having all sorts of problems with weapons and throwing the ball down the field, and the Broncos, they got the quarterback that they're having some issues with out there. This week the coach kind of came out and gave a little shot at his quarterback, but I go Denver. This is the first time. I don't love Denver, but I don't love the rest of the league. So Denver in a league of parity, number 4.
I like Denver, and I like them more than you. That's why they're not my number 4. My number 4 team is the Seahawks. Despite their record, you look at the games they've been in every game this year. They've not been blown out. Let's be realistic. If their kicker may have a kick of field goals, they might have a better record at this point this year.
Number 3 for me, I know a lot of people are going to give me some ridicule for this. I got the Chiefs, and here's why.
Oh, Mike.
The Chiefs are 11-2 in their last 13 games. No one seems to want to pay attention to them. I really don't feel confident with Nick Foles taking over and playing this week. But they're 11-2 in their last 13 games. So this isn't just them good right now. They've been good over a long stretch. And I still think they're going to win the West.
Mike, jumping up to 5, from 5 to 3 for me this week are the Cowboys. They showed me something on Sunday night. They drove down the field in overtime, won the game. I'm watching Dak Prescott. I feel like I was watching him back in Mississippi State, running for his life at that last play, throwing a touchdown pass. Cowboys, they're legit.
Oh, you know, I've had them up there for a while,
I know.
and they're still number 2 on my list. The funny part is, this was the worst I've seen them play.
Same.
I thought they'd been better in weeks previous to the Eagles game, which kind of makes me wonder. You're at home against an Eagles team that had all sorts of issues. How come that? I thought Dallas would win that game more handily, but I understand this is the NFL. You're going to have an off week. You might have an off week 2 or 3 where you just don't have it. The styles make the fights. But I got Dallas sticking in at number 2.
I still have the Broncos at my number 2, just like I had them last week. Love this defense. I still think Von Miller could potentially be the NFL MVP at this point. And listen, I know what Gary Kubiak said about Trevor Siemian, but I saw some throws from him on Sunday that I really liked. And, you know, maybe calling Siemian out in the public is the way he has to get motivated. Maybe he's just one of those guys who ticks that way.
Patriots number 1, and
Yes.
it's not close.
No way. It's
Not
even
close. Minnesota falls out for me,
Same.
but I'm not bailing on them. I think defensively, they are still very good. They've been down defensively the last couple of weeks, but you see the highs and lows. I think you've said this a couple of times. If a team loses 4 or 5 games, they got to lose them somewhere.
Yep.
So
I say it all the time.
You're going to lose 4 or 5 games. I know they're ugly losses, but that's a really good defense. Very interesting story. North Turner pushed out or resigned or something. I think
He ain't there more.
that offense was never going to be the strong suit for that team. It was always their defense. I think their defense will keep them involved. That doesn't mean they're going to be in the 5-5, but they are the team that, for me, took the biggest fall. They went from number 1 a couple of weeks ago to out of the mix.
Yeah, I have them, I think, 7th or 8th in the NFL at this point.